I'm gonna let Mr. Oakley off the leash. We've been having to tie him up because he's been chasing the animals. He hasn't killed any of them, but he has been chasing them, which is not good. Let's let him off a bit. He listens pretty good though. We're gonna take him for a little walk down by the creek. This is our little beach. Nice relaxing spot to hang out and bring the dogs. She loves chasing the rocks. When it comes time to put him back on the leash, he listens great. Don't have to chase him around. Let's head up the hill and see what else we can get done. I got a bit of a mess to clean up that I caused last night. I was looking for some knobs on an old stove, couldn't find it. So we're gonna get all this stuff put back in the crate. Both of these washers repaired the other day when it was raining, but they each need a slight paint job. So I'm gonna take them outside onto the pad and start working on finishing them up. I drug them out here, got them facing the sun. They look damn near the same, but they're two different brands. This one just needs a slight touch up. This one needs it a little bit more, especially in the corners. Put a shirt in each one of these washers. That way it'll catch all the paint chippings and not get hit by any overspray. Started sanding everything down to bare metal. We're gonna take a pause for now. My dad made his way home. Let's go help him unload the truck. He went and picked up 5 more riding mowers. He's gonna go grab the tractor to help us get them out. He has lined up quite the bit of these mowers over here, getting prepped up for the next container. With the new extendable forks we built the other day, getting these things unloaded is a breeze. Let's get the next one loaded up. Another truckload complete. Finished sanding everything down. Covered up any of the areas I don't want getting hit by overspray, and put the first layer of appliance epoxy on. It should dry pretty quick out here in the sun. While those machines are drying outside, let's jump back to this washer that I started last night. Went ahead and pulled the agitator off because we have to swap the transmission. Tilted the machine back, removed the motor. The coupling's still in good shape. I went ahead and pulled off the pump. You can see the main seal is bad where it was leaking. Next up, let's loosen up the bolts to the transmission. Ooh, comes right on out of there, nice. There we go. We got the transmission pulled out. We'll have to find a new one. Take a peek at this clutch. Make sure it's not rusted up. The trailer hooked on the truck. My dad's getting back on the road. He's gonna pick a couple more items up. Let's take a quick second and touch up anything that needs it. This stuff goes on so thick, 1 to 2 coats should get the job done. Found another transmission. It's a used one that I had, so I want to test it before I put it back together. We don't need the pump to do this. I just had to disconnect the wiring harness that runs back to the timer. Set on high spin, it's turned on. The new transmission is spinning. Nice, let's get it put back together. Let's put the motor back in place and find a new pump for it. Everything is put back together. I got the pump on. I have to replace the dog ears in the agitator because it wasn't working properly. We're gonna go ahead and set the bottom half in place. Then we can get this thing tested with some clothes, and if it all checks out, we'll finish cleaning it up. All right. Don't worry, we're professional. Went ahead and grabbed another upper half to the agitator because check this out. This is the original one. I got the bottom half cleaned up, but you see all the detergent buildup in here. It'll take me forever to clean this thing up, so we're just gonna toss it. I have another one. It's a lot easier to wipe the dust off than it is to scrape all that off. Look at all the detergent built up here. Man, check that out. Look how thick the detergent is on there. This one just needs a slight wipe down. All right, just about there, getting this thing shined up. This is what the new dog ears look like. They pretty much catch on the plastic in there. Over time, they wear away. And that's how it goes. Right in there. That way, it moves in one direction and catches in the other. Let's get it put in place. Slides on one way, just like that. And now you can see how the agitator catches. It was spinning freely in both directions. Let's make sure the center bolt is cleaned up and get it tightened on. Get the right size socket. The one half was for the transmission bolt. You don't want to overdo it. There's a seal on this bolt, just enough. The reason this agitator, the last one, was so dirty is because this is the old cap. And it's in good shape, but the seal that goes around it was broken. So it was allowing all this detergent and water to make its way down into the agitator and possibly in the transmission. We got that all swapped. Get the old transmission out the way. We pretty much got everything put back together. I got some clothes in the drum, hooked up the water lines, bypassed the child lock. That way we can see everything running. And we're gonna set it on its first test cycle. So far, so good. What I'm gonna do here is just make sure the inlet valves are switching from hot to cold. Oh yeah, hopped into agitation mode. Really getting the clothes cleaned up now, throwing water everywhere. We're gonna head out to our personal track. Run our sprints. First lap is a warm up. After the transmission replacement, this washer finished out its first test cycle with no issues. We're gonna give it a good cleanup. Same with the body. A couple spots can use some touch-up paint. I'll probably sand them down, hit them with some epoxy, and let it dry overnight. Looky there. Where have you been all day, huh? Dragging in the work late. It's almost the end of the day. Started working on this thing. Most of this stuff is just wiping off. While I got some sunlight left, I'm gonna sand it down and hit it with some epoxy. Wow, how'd you make your way up here? My dad is making his way back. Looks like he picked up quite the load of some mowers. Brought this body back inside. Most of the stuff was able to wipe away, cleaned up quite nice. I did sand down and paint the corners and around the bleach dispenser. We're gonna let that dry overnight and start closing up shop. Shutting down the shop for tonight. Another truckload emptied out before I could even make my way over here. My dad got these mowers unloaded, getting the trailer backed out and disconnected. He's got to go in the morning to pick some other items up. We got 2 push mowers and a deck to get out real quick. Closing out another work week. Let's get some dinner going. We'll be back out here tomorrow.